Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ellison Cruz, and I'd like to welcome you once again to the Swapper. Last time we made our way to the planet survey, and we've got a couple more orbs we need to collect. Now, the last part I want to apologize for some choppy frame rate issues. I went and lowered the resolution a little bit, and it runs much more smoothly now, so, choppy recordings and shitty frame rate is a thing of the past. So let's continue solving a couple more puzzles and find out what these giant rocks are all about. There was a time long ago when the chain was full and fruitful. Then the minds like yours joined, and the rest fell silent. Quit being so oblique, man. Okay, so we can't make a thing past that. I mean, we could make a guy, like, in the red, but it wouldn't be of any use. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a guy up here. I said, wow, okay, thanks, game. That was weird. Okay, I just need to get my fingers unthawed since I'm freezing right now. Alright, so we'll do this, and we'll just go and make a person right over here. Now, we can't actually switch to him, so what we need to do is, let's go and try this. I'm going to make, okay, this is actually going to be really easy. Okay, so we're going to have a, I guess we should probably make a guy right here. There we go. Then we can do this, and then do the same thing, just, ugh. Okay, perfect. Because we can only use the swapping rays and the red light there. And we got a Trigon orb. We're going to start getting more than one orb every time we solve something.
We thought the Watchers were dumb slabs of rock. It took years of study to accept that they were alive. Not like we are, of course. They have no physical senses, no moving parts. Still, I find it hard not to wonder, can an electrical impulse in a rock really be considered a thought?
Perhaps. So you'll notice I can now see my cursor on the map now. I guess it's because my resolution was so high I just wasn't able to show it. So, we've discovered our first instance of a teleporter that we can use to transport ourselves long distances. This is in that area where we saw that mysterious person for the first time, or one of the first times, and we can open the door here. So in case you need to collect any orbs you missed over here, you now have an easier way to do it. Like, here's the barracks, and here's that awesome yellow room we were in. I guess that would technically be this one, but yeah, and there's going to be a lot of these in the coming puzzles, so be wary of that. So let's go back to the planet study, shall we? We need 15 orbs before we can access the new area over there, and we'll be going there shortly, but we're going to solve everything we can here first. Call it good to go. So let's go over here, and there we go. Alright, don't die, I'm sorry. And this one actually, ooh. Okay, this one I don't recall all the way. I guess we can make a clone up here, maybe? Let's try this. Let's do, well, let's see what we're going to want to do. Actually, I always do this the wrong way, so we're going to want to, here, let's try something a little different. I'm going to put this guy right there, and then I'm going to have this guy right there, switch to you, and then do this. Now this way, maybe this is the way I always do it. I just never realized it. And then I can go ahead and have them both like that. Okay. Never mind. It's not that hard. It's just, I don't know. Whew, let's get out of here. We're getting way too much credit for this stuff. Alright. Whoops. Okay, somehow I survived that. Guess we don't even need to bother with that. Let's see what we got here. We're all cut up on messages so far. Alright, so, class desert, uninhabitable. Abundant nature mineral deposit space station, Theseus in orbit since 201 years. So this is actually pretty cool if you want to read that. You can go ahead, but... Alright, so let's see. Okay, this one is a little weird. Let's see if I remember how to do it. Let's place a guy right there. And we'll place a clone right up here. Now, we need to get a clone on this switch here to get rid of this red light. So, let's go place one man right there. There we go. We can switch back over here. Switch to this one. And now we can start killing clones. So, actually, shoot. Okay, I'm going to go backwards into there. You can wait up there for a moment. And now we need to kill these two guys. So we can just keep going to the right. And they can walk into the pit. Placed at the convenience of murdering clones we no longer need. Okay, now we need to get up here. And do I even have enough? Okay, we're going to kill another clone. So death, thank you. And we're going to go transport up there. And I guess... was this going to work? Okay. It's okay. We just needed to get to this guy right here so that we can murder everybody now. Can those die? There we go. Alright, we can place one up there. Place one on the far end and collect our well-deserved Trigon Orb. I am not too disappointed about that. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's leave. Let's see, actually. We're almost done with this place. This is all to this giant area we needed to go. So let's go. We can now activate that hatch. It's pretty cool. I'm always afraid I'm going to miss that. Unless there's nothing in here. Okay, let's go. And boom.
You're in. Good.
Wait, no, I'm not in yet.
Access to mine side now is via gravity control.
Alright.
From where you are, you should be able to access an airlock. You're going to have to take a spacewalk across the station exterior.
Alright, well thanks for the heads up. Now there's one thing I'd like to grab here. The reason why I didn't do it last time is because we were a little strapped for time. But you notice this electricity here. You try and place a clone in it, and he instantly dissipates. But to the left, you can actually place one there, and we can actually head into a secret area for our fourth message. So let's interact with this memory terminal. Let's see what we got. It sounds as if you're well established out there now, Theseus. We're sorry to have to report that long-range telescopes indicate Station 7 was not able to maintain its orbit and has decayed away into a nearby sun. Now, more than ever, our fate lies with you. Has the research program gained any momentum? Perhaps, but we'll find out in the next message from home. As we hopefully not electrocuted. There we go. So let's get out of here. That's it for this particular area. The next parts are going to get a little overbearing with things. Alright, what is thought? I think I know. It must have rules. We may not see the noumena, but we surely know that they are the cause of the thoughts. Noumena. Some of us has grown crazy. Everything there is thought. It's interesting you should say that. So check it out. We've now got Xeno research as well as sample containment metaphysics. We'll be heading there soon, as well as another teleport in case you wanted to do stuff. Emergency evac number 2. This morning, the last senior crew member disengaged the lockdown on the high security labs and relocated all of us here. The labs are well shielded and the doors are sealed tight. Everyone's hoping we've not been followed here by whatever it is that's killing us. Sam Cook. Sam Cook once again. Alright, let's get out of here. So we're going to be heading off to Xeno research first. There's a couple of things I'd like to take care of here. This looks pretty sweet.
This is where we developed the device in your hands. We looked at the way the Watchers communicate and built a delivery system for it. To be frank with you, we didn't know what on earth it was at first. It turns out it swaps people's souls out.
Alright, so here we have yet another teleporter in case you wanted to teleport 2 rooms back to where we just were. So we're not going to do that. We're going to press E to cancel. And actually, we're going to collect ourselves another message. Now, this one you can't actually really know to get here because there's no indication that you can, swap in here. So we're going to hopefully... got it our first time. Good. It's kind of a tricky jump. But over here... let's check it out. We thought we'd lost you for a while there. Let's hope these communication glitches are put to bed. Unfortunately, you're now overdue on delivery of your findings on initial exploration of the planet below. Please advise. Alright, well that sucks. Let's get out of here. See what I mean by just random placement of things that you would never know to look? I don't know, it might just be me. Ooh, this one's actually kind of tricky, I think. Swapper research interests. Discovering what the swapper did was easy. Our new research priority is to work out how. I believe that it is synthesizing some part of the Watcher's telepathic communication. Somehow it's able to relocate raw consciousness while leaving the physical body intact. To understand the device, and perhaps consciousness itself, we must understand The Watchers. By Dr. Chalmers. That's the person who's been talking to us, right? Huh. Alright. So, what do I usually do here? This is kind of an interesting puzzle because this switch, I think, just brings up this light just a little bit, just enough so that you can actually swap to this person should you need to. So what we're going to do is we're going to try this. I'm going to go over here and let's go up. And now, can I actually make somebody over there? I can. So this one you barely even have to move, I think. So we're going to do this. Swap to this one right here, move off this red platform so I can actually shoot my swapper beams through it. So it's going to go down a little bit. And then we can swap to this guy and collect our well-deserved Trigon Orb. Beautiful. Alright, let's get out of here. That thump, man, I'm telling you what, it is icky sounding. Alright, let's get out of here. Oops. Alright, that was good enough. Whew. My cat is meowing. Okay, so this is actually a pretty cool thing. We're introduced to a new concept here, and it involves using these blocks here to block out this light, and we're going to be doing this a couple more times here. So what we need to do is get a clone up here, and now you need to basically kill yourself multiple times so that the clone on the bottom is constantly moving the block to the right there. And you want to be careful not to get too close to the edge where you'll slip off, but once the block actually reaches the place, you'll be able to go across and do the same exact thing. So there we go. Also, the ledge is just high enough so that you can get away with killing yourself every time you jump off. So unless you land on the crate, then you won't die, but that's okay. We're not going to need that many clones in this part. There we go. I just want to be careful. I always have a tendency to slip off here. And with that, there it is. Another Trigon Orb.
The problem has always been, no matter how far you dig down into the human brain, you'll never identify something that is consciousness.
No?
But the Swapper has taught us that the mind is some fundamental part of the universe which is not physical, and which we can now control.
How long has it been like this? And not like the Great Chain before? You keep speaking of this. Okay, this one, ooh, this one I had a little bit of trouble on the first time I tried it. So, what we need to do is get a man up here, but you'll notice it's such a small ledge that there's nothing we can really do to stop him from falling off if we move to the left. So we're going to be a little bit careful about that. Now this switch here activates the slab. It'll make it go down as long as this is pressed down. When the slab is down, the red light is going to expand over here, which means that, you know, we can't use our swappy rays on it. Or swappy rays. So we're going to do a little bit of ingenuity here. We're going to take this crate here, and we're going to block this blue light. Now, I don't remember how we want to go about doing this. I think the first thing we want to do... Shoot. Okay, I'm going to spawn one man right here, but I'm not going to put one over here. Don't do that quite yet, because we need this this slab to land on top of this stone here. So we're going to move this to here, and then what we're going to do when that is done is we're going to go ahead and spawn this guy right over here. Probably, yeah, that's about good. Then we'll go and put a man right over there to stand on that, so that we can now swap over to this guy and collect that Trigon. It's beautiful. But before we do anything else, before anything else is done, we're going to take this out of the way. Sorry, clone who collected that. You're dead now. We're going to go and spawn a person right here. Spawn a person right up here. And now, we're going to go and step on the switch, because here is the location of another hidden terminal. This marks our 5th one, which is halfway through all of the hidden ones. So with that... Oh, never mind, it's our 6th one. What am I smoking? We agree that this silkworm-like creature constitutes a potentially useful finding, and look forward to the arrival of the shipped specimens. Initial yield estimates, however, suggest Chori 5 to be far more abundant in natural resources. Silk won't save the planet. The ECS keep at it. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, let's get out of here. And remember, every time you what the... Okay, that was weird. Anytime you collect one of those, you'll get one of the achievements, one of the Steam achievements for this game, so keep that in mind. And with that, having been said and done, I think we're just about done with Xeno technology research. We need to head over here but that is going to lead to a far more complicated series of areas, so probably going to call it here in a couple minutes. Ooh. Actually, yeah, I'm not going to take that teleporter. I'm not that lazy. Actually, there's another room that we need to check out over here. Ah, this one. Ah. Okay, this is actually the first time I legitimately got stumped in this game. I had to come back to this, and it took me forever to solve it, but after a couple puzzles, I was able to get it. Because basically, this is one of the first instances where it forces you to use fewer clones than you have at your disposal. That needs to be held down at all times in order to get rid of this stupid slab there. So the idea here, I like to think of this particular puzzle as a two-step puzzle. Basically, first of which, we need to get a man in here before we do anything else. This switch will activate this slab here. This switch, I believe, activates this red swapper list light. So, yeah. So what we need to do is we're going to spawn a person right there, and I guess we can switch to him. And then we're going to go ahead and probably... There we go. Now that that's done... Actually, we didn't even need to do that. What am I smoking? We can just do this. We can just put him right there. Alright, good. Now, what we would need to do now at this point is put a person right here and swap to him. Because once we do... Come on now. We can go and put that man over there, which is exactly what we needed to do. So now that he's in there, we need to get rid of this guy up here so that we have more to work with. Now we only have 2 other clones we can work with. So what we're going to do... Shoot the boot. Okay. This is where I always had trouble, because I was like, okay, once I got here, I know it's another step we have to do. So we're going to put another one right up here. And this is the thing... Okay, I remember. This is the thing that I remembered I could do. And go ahead and back off as far as we can to this corner, and then we'll spawn another one right over here. And once this is done, I guess I'll probably stay down here. We'll go ahead and move this one onto the switch, and this guy will hopefully go into us, thusly giving us another clone. So there we go. Now we place another one up there, switch back to this one so that we can switch this one and collect an orb. Thank God. That one was so tricky. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this one is 13, maybe? Let's see. No, it's 12. Alright. Petrovic and Moss volunteered to take part in the first engagement of the swapping core between individual crew members. The procedure was conducted safely. However, both crew members immediately reported extensive memory loss, meaning it has been impossible to verify whether a swap actually took place or not. With a little more time, we believe we can correct for the memory loss and complete the experiment successfully. So that first one... That crew member statement sounded good, but you read the commander's assessment, a complete ban on all testing of the swapper devices between individual crew members is to take place immediately. Understand your safety record for use of the device between clean subjects remains untarnished. Consider yourselves fortunate that this avenue of research remains open to you. Like, if your direct superior said that to you, I think you would be a little bit nerve-wracked as well. So we're actually done with that, and let's take a look here. I think it's 13 that we skip, because I remember not being able to find it. But that actually comes after we find 14, so I think we're good. Alright, let's get out of here. That was actually a little less painful than I thought it would be. Knock on wood, we're going to start getting into some pretty tricky ones. Whoops. Pretty tricky ones later. So we're done with Xeno research. We can start heading to metaphysics, I guess. This isn't where we need to go. But we'll go ahead and start it. Oh, jeez.
Non-human organics purged.
That's not good. So we can take the teleporter and move on to the next area that we can just use to harvest orbs, but I think we're going to call it good there for now. We actually need to head over here in order to head off to Psymind, so we'll be doing that soon enough. But yeah, my name is Allison Cruz, and as the mystery unravels, I hope you guys are excited to see the next part, because, well, it gets better. It does get better, and it gets a little more unnerving. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next part.